Returning to Blasphemous 2 for the Mea Culpa DLC was hard, as the last time that I played it was over 14 months ago. This amount of sand through the hourglass would be long enough for any game, let alone an extremely unforgiving, tough as nails Metroidvania that requires the complete use of your tools and abilities. Luckily, Blasphemous 2 was the best Metroidvania that I played in 2023, and having the chance to return was an opportunity that I will take any day. The Mea Culpa DLC is not a far departure from where Blasphemous 2 left off. Enemies will end your existence quickly if you aren't careful, the world is still hauntingly beautiful, and the journey is still vague. When evaluating Mea Culpa from a DLC standpoint, this expansion is a resounding success. Mea Culpa adds plenty of new content to what was already the best game that the genre had to offer in 2023. There are 2 new biomes to explore with 2 new bosses, new skills, new abilities, new enemies, new items to find, and your quest will even expand upon the story. Mea Culpa fixes and sidesteps some of the issues that the base game had. Reused enemies from the first game were prevalent in Blasphemous 2, but surprisingly, there are a lot of new enemies to encounter with some new executions. The bosses also felt like a bigger challenge this time around, and they required proper architecture of your skills and abilities. Mea Culpa also brings some of the bad traits along from Blasphemous 2 as well, as there are still a lot of executions that use the same animation. Bosses once again didn't reward the parry player, as there were minimal opportunities for it to be useful. Our biggest criticism with the Mea Culpa DLC was how the questline intertwines with the original map. You initially find the entrance to the first new biome just off of the main hub in the Streets of Wakes. After spending plenty of time exploring the first biome and defeating the first boss, you need to find a key, but the game doesn't give you any hint that it's not in the new biome. You will eventually have to comb your way through the old map again looking for any possible pinholes that haven't been explored to their fullest. You are never fully sure if the DLC altered your map or you just didn't fully explore that area. Backtracking is one of the essential Metroidvania traits, love it or hate it, but you usually have an inkling about what vicinity you should be in. The silver lining here is that if you didn't fully complete Blasphemous 2 to 100%, there will be plenty of items for you to find along the way at least, and this helps ease the frustration. Returning to Blasphemous 2 with the way that the Mea Culpa journey is spread out requires a major commitment from the player. You will be forced to comb through almost every area again, even if you already did, and most of the time you will end up fruitless and back at square one. The good news is that the reward is worth the hardships, as Mea Culpa is a reminder of how refined Blasphemous 2 was. The moment that you finally get the Mea Culpa back in your hands is satisfying and soothes the pain that you have endured to get to this moment. The Mea Culpa DLC didn't leave us as awestruck as Blasphemous 2 did in 2023, but the time was well worth the wait to take on the role of the penitent one again. If you own Blasphemous 2, you should own the Mea Culpa DLC. Before leaving, consider subscribing if you enjoyed the review, if it helped you in any way, or if you enjoyed the vibes. If you're unfamiliar, we are trying to cultivate a community that's full of positivity, free from negativity and toxicity. That's all for today, but until next time, be nice to your fellow gamer, but more importantly, be nice to your fellow human.